this one up here. Overall, Toto 4 is
Yeah,
the band's biggest album. And I also like there's you on the back there.
that's right.
Um,
That's me.
um, uh, so when you look at the first album, it did very well for a debut record. But the next two albums didn't sell as well. So did the pressure to make another hit sort of affect the songwriting on Toto 4, or were you guys just did you just go in and those were the songs and that was it?
No, we definitely knew that our career was hanging in the balance at that
Hmm.
time, and they were like the record companies like, if you don't guys don't come up with another hit on your next record, you're going to be in dire straits, and so I went in with it thinking we've got to make our best album ever here. That's not only just a commercial success, but also has depth to it and has musicality to it, and all the good production and everything, lyrics and melody. And so the first song I wrote was Rosanna for it, because I thought if this song doesn't make it, I said I'm gonna give up.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought this is good. This has everything I know about songwriting put into one song. So it ended up having varied vocalists. It had a guitar solo, a synth solo, and a great drum intro on it. And I thought it was very diverse and showed off the talents and the musical technique of the players in the band.
Hmm. And one of the reasons I'm excited to speak with you today is because, Africa is really sort of your song because you wrote it and you sang it. And it's one of those songs that you still hear on the radio all the time. One of the first songs you think of when you think like 80s pop.
Yeah.
And I find that as a younger person who listens to older music, it's one that has really like transcended generations. Because I remember being in high school, which wasn't too long ago for me, and I would get teased by my friends and other people for what I listened to.
Yeah.
But Africa was one of those songs where, like if my friends and I were going to the movies, I could play it in the car and everyone would sing along to it.
Really?
Um,
Oh, that's very
yeah,
cool.
yeah, I really admire how you wrote a song that's just loved by millions of people from all walks of life. Like that's the dream as a musician. It's got to be so cool to,
It is.
say
It
like
is.
that's my song.
Yeah, it is.
Hmm.
It's very multi generational, and handed down from, I think, parents to kids, and that just goes to show you, if you don't try too hard on to make something, you know what I mean, or think out of the box. Just try and think. We wanted to make something we'd never made before, the kind of record. So it ended up being the first of the like global music that we heard from the time, but.
Right.
Uh, yeah, that's a very special song, and it seems to keep the listeners seem to have an insatiable appetite for requesting that song on
Hmm.
Spotify. It has like 1 billion streams from Spotify, and so people are requesting it out there, and I'm glad they did.
Yeah. And I even, I watched the music video last night just to see it again. And I noticed on YouTube it has like 800 million views. Like, that's crazy.
I know it's
Um,
nuts. That's sick.
yeah. And you sing Africa. And obviously, you had sung some songs with Toto before that, but
Uh-huh.
Africa was the first song that you had lead vocals on that like was a single and was a number one hit. So did
Yeah.
that give you some validation for yourself as a vocalist?
It did, and yes and no. First of all, it was great that I was able to sing on, because I was the only one able to get all the words out. So I ended up being, by drawing straws. I drew the short straw, and I was the one that had to sing it. And Bobby Kimball did a great job singing the choruses. But the band's reaction was like, "Well, next time you write a hit single, make sure our lead singer's singing it and not you singing it." You know what I mean? Because I was really the lead singer. I was just a guy who could, because my Elton practicing to sing Elton John songs, I could spit out a lot of words. So that's what ended up being by rote, of me being the lead singer on that song. But it's
Hmm.
fun. It's fun to play it live. I get a big kick out of it, and the crowd really is passionate about it.
Yeah. And you sort of you were mentioning there how the band was sort of like, next time write one for the lead singer.
That's
Um
right.
I I, I sort of it sort of seemed like they were a bit unsure about that song uh before it came out and all that.
Definitely. That was like 11th hour song. We had the whole album done, with Rosanna and the band. I had brought this, I had gotten a new synthesizer and I started playing that riff, the opening riff on the synthesizer. And I brought it to the band and said, I finished this song. Can we try it? And so we just started doing an experimental version of it, kind of made a loop with Jeff Porcaro on drums and used old fashioned Beatles style where you wrap the tape around the mic stands and it makes a big gigantic loop in the room. And then
Mhm.
we overdubbed to that. And as it blossomed, as it started to the apple started to get unpeeled, it started to really turn into something magnificent, and we just couldn't deny it. We just kept at it, overdubbing on it, and it turned out to be, like I said, a magical tune.